and love will have the final word. Trust love, trust love, trust God. That love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. No one ever loses when one trusts love, for love is something that will not ever fail. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known by always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that is showing. Love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh, yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and will keep on being loved, and will keep on being loved. This is its holy way. So trust love, trust love, trust God. That love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. No one ever loses when one trusts love. To love is to live within the holy breath of God. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known by always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that is showing. Love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh, yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and will keep on being loved, and will keep on being loved. This is its holy way. So trust love and lean on love. Trust God. That love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of the love and receivers of love.
for it is our mission to awaken people to their spiritual nature and thereby transform the world. Here we hold this truth that every one of us has within us the spark of the divine that connects us all to source and to each other. We see the Christ Spirit present in you, and in that knowing we honor the many names of God, the many and diverse paths to God, and the many ways we worship God. Whether I'm looking at your glorious faces here in the sanctuary or you're with us online, we still see you. And wherever you are in life's journey, know that you are in exactly the right place. We're delighted to have you, and we are blessed by your presence, and we celebrate our oneness. So, if you're a regular here, welcome home. If you're a visitor or just checking us out, we invite you to consider making this spiritual home. If you like what you hear, like what you see, like what you experience here, think about joining us. My name is Ken McClellan, and it's my privilege to get things rolling here this morning. I want to acknowledge part of our A-team this morning. Our meditation facilitator is Susan Neidig. Susan will also be our prayer chaplain today. Our board host is Joy Christensen. Joy is back here in the back. Our offering steward is Shelley Lish. Shelley's way in the back. And our song leader is our own lovely Jamie Sassi. You may notice that missing from our A-team this morning is Reverend Denese. Unfortunately, Reverend Denese is ill, so she will not be with us this morning. In her place, we were fortunate to have, as our guest speaker, her husband, Reverend Larry Schellink. He will be with us virtually and giving our talk this morning. And we just hope that Reverend Denese is nothing serious and will be back with us soon. On the other hand, we're truly blessed with a trifecta of musical talent this morning. In addition to Jamie Sassi, we have our own immensely talented Becca Palm on the piano. Love to have you, Becca. And we're blessed with a very special guest musician this morning. I believe our first time here at Unity of Bellevue, Dave Hammond. Dave is kind of a local guy from the Northwest and the Seattle region. I had the opportunity to go onto his website yesterday and listen to little snippets of his music, and we are in for a real treat this morning, and we welcome Dave. With that, we'll get the celebration started with Jamie and Becca and our community song.
Good morning, everybody. Now, please stand as you're able and sing loud with me. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything How about some love? Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need.
God gives me everything.
So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything Back to God. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Let's pray. We invoke divine blessing for us in this very room, in this virtual space, in the energy that surrounds us and is within us, and everything that provides us with everything we need and more. Everything is sourced from unconditional love and compassion, infinite joy, eternal peace. We breathe in with our sacred breath to the center of our very being, welcoming in even more of our Christ consciousness. We breathe in again. We spread this energy to everyone who is here in this room and in this virtual space, to everyone in our state, our country, and to the world, holding all in the peace that is our true nature. And we see that manifesting within us and between us all over the world right now. We see peace flowing like a mighty river, filling our collective consciousness with oneness and love. We declare this service is sacred. We are on holy ground. We are so grateful. And so it is.
Good morning, everyone. So, I didn't plan this, but the first song I'm going to sing is one I wrote a while back. It's called Unpredictable. And with Reverend Denise being MIA, we obviously wish her well. That's my connection to the message this morning. How's that? You guys are very polite for laughing. Thank you very much. There's checks underneath everyone's seats. All right, here we go. Unpredictable. Life is so unpredictable. Never could have guessed, never could have known. You're standing at my door. Unpredictable. Meeting you is unpredictable. Never could have guessed, never could have known. Such beauty, just in luck. Oh, you helped give me the words I couldn't find. Yeah, you took those words, gave them their flights. You held them near to my heart so I could see all the good things in me. After all, unpredictable. You were so unpredictable. Letting me go so that I could learn to fly on these own two wings of mine. loved me enough to let me go, so that I could learn to fly on these own two wings of mine.
Thank you, Dave. A reading this morning was selected by Reverend Denise. It's by American poet Donna Faulds. She also describes herself as a reluctant meditator. The poems come to her during times of meditation. Who are you is much more than what you do. The essence shining through your heart, soul, and center, the bare, bold truth of you does not lie in your to-do lists. You are not just the surface of your skin, not just the impulse to arrange the muscles in your face into a smile or a frown, not just boundless energy or bone-wearying fatigue. Delve deeper. You are divinity, a vast open sky of spirit. It's the light of God, the ember at your core, the passion and the presence, the timeless, deathless essence of you that reaches out and touches me. Who you are transcends fear and turns suffering into liberation. Who you are is love. Next, we're going to recite our statement of faith. For those of you who are regulars here, you know this well. It's a basic tenet of Unity of Bellevue. For those of you who may be less familiar, I'm going to read it through one time, and then we're all going to do it together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. So would you all say that with me, with feeling and conviction? There is only one power, present power, active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And our affirmation for this week, same thing. I will read it through and ask you to repeat it with me. And by the way, for those of you online, I'm going to challenge you to also read it out loud with us. There's great power in the spoken word, so I dare you to say it with us. I will say it through one time first. I am willing to see all enemies as a source of good in my life. No one and nothing is against me. I embrace resistance as a path to intimacy and trust. As an expression of God, I can and am authentic, and so it is. Please use your own name, though. Ready? I am willing to see all enemies as a source of good in my life. No one and nothing is against me. I embrace resistance as a path to intimacy and trust. As an expression of God, I am authentic, and so it is.
It's me again. So sometimes we need encouragement in our lives, right? And I was feeling pretty bummed when I wrote this. I need a little bit of encouragement in my own life. And so I wrote a song to myself. Kind of. You'll kind of get it when you hear it, but this one's called Sing to Me. And sometimes, I think most times, music has a healing quality. So as I play this, hopefully this sends out some healing to all of you as well. She said if I threw up this round, gave it all that I could. Sometimes things in this life, they don't play out like they should. Yes, the dark turns to light, and shadows fade out of sight. Yes, the dark turns to light, waiting patiently by your side. Oh, sing to me like love. It's a painful time. Sing to me like now. Won't you heal this broken mind? She only asks grace for tonight. She can get some rest this time. Sometimes things in this life work out like they should. Yes, the dark turns to light, and shadows fade out of sight. Yes, the days turn to nights, waiting patiently by your side. Oh, sing to me like love. It's a painful time. Sing to me like love. Won't you heal this troubled mind? Yes, the dark turns to light, and the shadows fade out of sight. Yes, the days turn to night, waiting patiently by your side. Oh, sing to me like love. It's a painful time. Sing to me like love. Won't you heal this troubled mind? Sing to me like love. Sing to me like love.
So we are starting a new series this week, and I'm very serious about it, actually. It's a powerful teaching, and I thought would be so great would be for us to actually follow this book all the way through. So we're going to do 7 weeks on this book, The Eye of the Storm, Embracing Conflict, Creating Peace. Not that you guys need it, but there's people in your life that probably could use this. So you're doing it for them. As I am doing it for you. But truthfully, this material is really the heart and soul of the Q process, which Denise has talked about, and over 100 of us have actually gone through that process. And it's the most cogent explanation, I would say, and process of moving from the person who we've come here to be, the spiritual image and likeness of God, and to be centered in that knowing and that love and that peace and that joy, and moving through the human experience, which all of us must do in this lifetime, to actually be able to reclaim the promise of who and what we really are, that we can live a life of joy and love and peace in the midst of the prevailing winds of circumstances, of the winds of fortune and misfortune which come into everyone's life. And to me, this this particular approach to spiritual growth and development is grounded in the most, in the latest understanding of psychology, including shadow work, and then quantum science, the latest neuroscience understanding. So we're really bringing the most enlightened perspective to this approach to spiritual awakening. And I'm very excited about that because it touches, it hits the mind and it hits the heart in very powerful ways. So let me begin by reading the first paragraph of the introduction of the book. No one is against you. This is the absolute truth. You may not believe it now. You may have a lifetime of evidence to the contrary. But until you realize that the entire universe is for you, you may never experience your wholeness and your true worth. The purpose of this book is to awaken you to the truth that there is only one presence and power at work in your life. And that this presence and power lives in you as the Spirit of God. For this reason, no one or nothing can be against you. To realize this is to claim your divine inheritance as a beloved creation of God. Whatever I say after this won't matter nearly as much as you understanding that introduction. Shall I read it again? I think I shall. No one is against you. How do you react when you hear that, right? Because we all have a story, and many stories. But this is the absolute truth, and I would point out that it's a capital T truth. You may not believe it now. You may have a lifetime of evidence to the contrary. But until you realize that the entire universe is for you, you may never experience your wholeness and true worth. And parenthetically, I would add, you remember Einstein's famous quote where he said, the most important question you can ask, is the universe a friendly place? The most important question. The purpose of this book is to awaken you to the truth that there is only one presence and one power at work in your life. And that this presence and power lives in you as the Spirit of God. For this reason, no one or nothing can be against you. To realize this is to claim your divine inheritance as a beloved creation of God. Wholeness is that sense of nothing being missing. There's nothing lacking. Wholeness. And what you and I are here to learn is that wholeness is not outside of you. That wholeness is your divine nature. Now that works against the part of us that believes that it is separate from God, from life. And believes that in order for me to experience wholeness, my life has to show up in a certain way for me to have that experience. Do we know this one? That it's sort of a conditioned wholeness, which actually is to say that you're conditioning God. You're saying God really is not infinite. Because if God is infinite, then where in you would there be an absence of that? Where in you would there be an absence of love? If God is infinite. By saying that I can't have the experience of love or peace unless people act a certain way or life goes a certain way, we're basically saying that there's a part of God that's missing from me. Wow. That's not the God I thought. Maybe that's a God I made up in my image and likeness. Because if this infinite presence and power and love is infinite, then it must be as complete in me as it would be in the most exalted place that I can think of. It's not outside of myself. It's within me. So this journey that you and I are on all the time is to turn around and to stop looking for that peace and that love out in the world. And that's not easy, is it? It's not easy because there is a part of us, and it's an active part of us, and it oftentimes becomes the default way of you and I responding to life is to react to life as it seems to be against us when we're not connected to the truth of who we are, when we're aligned with a separate sense of identity, when you and I have come to believe that we are something less than the creation of God. And of course, we all come by that honestly because we got messages as we were developing our psyche and we were developing our beliefs and everything that were not messages that were coming from the truth. They were coming through the conditioned filters of those who raised us and those who cared for us and how the world responded to us. And instead of us holding on to this essential knowing of our wholeness, we, in order to navigate this life, in order to feel safe and protected and to feel like we could keep ourselves from being hurt, we took on the beliefs that resulted from us being treated in a way that suggested that that love, that our lovability had to do with how we behaved. And so we began to believe that we weren't loved unless we were being a certain way. So we created this notion of conditional love, and then we do the same thing with this notion of peace, that in order for us to have peace in a lifetime, everything needs to sort of settle down. And that we're externally referenced in our life so much that we forget that true peace has nothing to do with what's happening out here in the world. That Jesus called it the peace that passeth human understanding. Speaking slowly, the words will come out correctly. So when you think about the peace that passes human understanding, obviously it's not going to be the peace that we gain when life goes a certain way. That's the human understanding kind of peace. If I get what I want, then I'm going to feel happy and peaceful and fulfilled. And if I don't get what I want, then it's not possible for me to be peaceful. That's the human understanding. But Jesus said that you could have the peace that passeth human understanding, which is already part of your spiritual DNA. In other words, it's already who you are. We call off the search when we understand this. We stop looking outside of ourselves. We can even call off the self-improvement project. How many people are in favor of that? How many people have been on a self-improvement project for ever? And it's like, I hope I finally get to be that person that I would finally like, or that I would respect, or that the world would recognize, or whatever. The truth is that you have already arrived. And what it is we don't know it. We don't know the beauty of our own nature. We don't know the peace, the love, the brilliance, the wholeness that we experience when we go inside and discover this. This is what all spiritual growth is about. Spiritual growth isn't about becoming some sort of spiritual martial art or something so that you can manipulate life and you can manipulate people in a way so that you don't have to deal with your own stuff. Well, some of us believe that that's, to be spiritually sophisticated is to know how you can create your own reality. And what I say to that is, yeah, you can do that, but guess what? If you get sold on the idea of creating your external reality, then you will never get this message. And then life will continue to have to be a certain way for you to be okay. And if you slip up on your own reality practices one day and people are not the way you want them to be and life is not showing up the way you want, then where are you? So we're here really to do the deep work of exfoliating all of those aspects that we have put in place and we have come to believe that stand in the way of our wholeness and our self-worth. Would you be up for that? Maybe for 7 weeks or 7 years or 7 lifetimes. Okay, that's what we're about. So the key is, as I've said, is to be able to be with whatever we are having in our life and not feel diminished by it. And that's a function of what we would say, the big word is consciousness. Consciousness meaning that this is how I interpret this life event. And the meaning that I give to this life event will determine what it is for me. Do we know this? That life and events and circumstances don't have any meaning. Of Course in Miracles teaches this, that I give life all the meaning that it has. So when we realize that everything is neutral until we give it meaning, then we realize how much responsibility we have in order to have life be a certain way for us so that it can be for us instead of against us. So one of the ways that we create meaning is we default to the negative, don't we? We'd like to think we don't, but we kind of do. And what Gary says, Dr. Gary says in his book is, he calls it gaps in awareness, because all human perception is incomplete, right? So we fill in the gaps in our awareness with our own thoughts and our own beliefs and our own assumptions about life and people. So you don't know what's motivating that crazy driver out there, so you assume that he's an inconsiderate jerk, right? You don't know the whole story, but we tend to go to that part of us that is concerned about our own safety and well-being first. And so we assume the worst. We assume that person was doing something and they were doing it against us. Do we know that that person was doing it intentionally against us? Like this perfect stranger that we've never encountered in our life really made that crazy turn in front of us just to do it to us? No, we don't. But isn't that the reaction we have when it happens? Because we fill in the gaps in our awareness and we default to the negative. Because we default to what we think we need to do to take care of ourselves. That's how we grew up. So we give the situation meaning relative to our own sense of well-being and worth. So there's a story in here. This is, Dr. Gary was the conflict manager for Unity Worldwide Ministries for a number of years. So he would go into churches that were having conflict, and he would try to help them resolve the conflict. And this is a story of the notion of the gap in perceptions and how it turned out. He says, a minister of a large church became suspicious of his board president's intentions after learning that she had called a special meeting during the minister's absence. Reverend Tom's suspicion became more concrete when the board president canceled a routine luncheon with no prior notice or explanation. Later, the minister discovered that she had been snooping around in his office after hours. The church secretary confided that the board president seemed secretive and overly concerned at being discovered. The minister imagined that the board was conspiring against him. He began to piece together other events and conversations that supported the possibility of hidden agendas. He felt certain that his job was in jeopardy and that the board would demand his resignation. At the end of the week, he received a call from the treasurer informing him of a special meeting of the board to be held immediately following Sunday services. He asked the treasurer about the meeting and was told the meeting would be brief and to the point. Tom found little comfort in the applause from his congregation following his sermon entitled, Believing in Yourself. I'm sure that was not exactly heartfelt, but anyway, he did deliver it. While the congregants were going through the receiving line, he was preoccupied with what would become of the church and his congregation. He wouldn't leave without a fight, he thought to himself. Tom entered the boardroom, and unlike Daniel in the den of lions, he was nervous and afraid of confronting his adversaries. Sally, the board president, asked Tom to open the meeting with prayer. His hands were cold. He felt embarrassed as all joined hands in a circle for prayer. Sally began by apologizing to Tom for the board's not being more open and forthright in its deliberations. But she said that given the circumstances before it, the board had decided to conduct its business in executive session. Sally continued with recognizing Tom's accomplishments, the ways he had been a blessing to so many, and the extent to which he would be missed should circumstances arise that would cause him to leave the church. Tom braced himself as he listened. Sally looked at her fellow board members as she announced to Tom the board's unanimous decision to recommend to the membership that the church purchase a luxury home for their minister in appreciation for his many years of dedicated service to the church. In addition, the home would be gifted to the minister. Tom sank, speechless, into his chair. Tears filled his eyes. His only consolation in the midst of overwhelming embarrassment was that he had not given in to the urge to rally supporters in a campaign of ousting his mutinous board. Have you ever had an experience like that? Where the mind goes to work, yes? You see little pieces of evidence, and the mind that is Velcro for the negative, that is drawn to the negative, puts together a story. And the story is put together according to the me, that little me that needs protection, that needs to be safe, that has been hurt in the past. And we do that obviously to the exclusion of the truth. And so this work that we're here to do is to hold up every assumption that we have, to begin to recognize that the stories that we make up stand in the way of the truth. That nobody and nothing is against us is as the absolute truth if we know that we are this creation of God, that we are the one presence and the one power and the one life. Knowing that how could anything be against you? For something to be against you, this infinite presence of love, that somehow that perceived item to be against you would somehow have to extract itself from the infinite and then stand apart from the infinite in order to be in opposition to the infinite. And don't you know that if anything was pulled out of the infinite, it would no longer be, there would be a little piece missing from the infinite, then it would no longer be infinite. Do you understand how it's impossible for there to be anything against you when you know yourself as the infinite love and life of God? Now, we may perceive situations in our life that are challenging. We may see, certainly we're going to have situations in life that are difficult. There may be situations in life where our body is under threat of an illness or something like that. But the difference between that and believing that life is against you is the difference between taking those things personally and just seeing those things as events that happen in the course of life, but staying solid in the knowing that you are our spiritual being, and that part of you, that essence of you, that pure consciousness that you are, is invulnerable to the slings and arrows of life. Nothing can touch this, who you are. Remember Jesus saying, if you destroy this temple, 3 days, I will raise it back up again. He wasn't talking about his body, even though that's the association that's often made. He was talking about his essence. That you and I have just, when we forget who we are, then we feel that life can be against us. But life can't be against the Christ of God that you are. Pure and simple. Nobody and nothing can be against you. And this journey that we're going to be taking together as we go through various ways of dealing with conflict in our life are going to give us tools in order for us to stand in the fire, to stand in the appearances of life that suggests that life can diminish us in some way, that circumstances can diminish us, and have us rise again and again into this knowing of who we are, so that we have capacity for all that arises. One of the ways you can do this, just in your meditation times, is to, when you ask yourself, who am I? Is to begin to let everything fall away that changes. In other words, your true nature is not anything that can come and go. So anything that would be in your experience that would come and go or change can't be who you are. Because have you noticed that in your life you see things come and go, and yet you're still there? I mean, for example, let's say you have a feeling of being sad. Well, the experience of sadness is there, and you're aware of the feeling of sadness, and then one day the sadness goes, right? Well, does a little part of you go when the sadness goes? Does it? Aren't you still the same you when sadness comes in and sadness goes, and you're still you? Your awareness is intact. That part of you, that consciousness part of you is intact. And it's been that way. When you were 5 years old, you had a very different body, and you had a very different story. You had different thoughts. But aren't you the same person? The same awareness that you were when you were 5 years old? That all this stuff that's come and gone, but who was the one that has watched it all come and go? Do you see how that's not been diminished? Even the difficult times, there you were, dealing with that difficult person, that difficult situation. And it happened, and there you were, and here you are. This is the beginning to understand ourselves as spiritual beings. It's this pure consciousness. And the same with thoughts. So thoughts come and thoughts go. And if you were to lose a limb, wouldn't that part of you still be here? You know, you're not less you because you lose an arm or an eye or any other part of your body. And this is what we're here to understand. We're to get in touch with that part of us that never changes, that's always in the background. It's always been a witness to the events of our lives, the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs and the great accomplishments and the great losses. And it was never aggrandized by the great accomplishments, and it was never diminished by the losses. What is that in you? What is that of you? That's what we're here to discover. And as we come to discover that and bring it from the background of our awareness into the foreground, that's when we bring forth peace and love and happiness, no matter what's going on.
So let's just take a moment and let this truth sink in with meditation and prayer. Let's close our eyes and go within, breathing. As we center in that place within that never changes, that is never diminished, we breathe in again. Awakening again to more of our wholeness, our true worth, where nothing lacks. We center in the feeling being state of peace, the peace that passes all understanding, that is infinite, boundless, forever here. In this space, we are always safe. We are always us. No matter what comes and goes, we breathe in again. Release in this moment any attachment to what is coming or what is going in our lives. We give gratitude for this great work that is happening at the core of us, that is transforming all of us, all of the layers of us, our thoughts and our feelings and our very body, so that it reflects our inner nature of peace. We are so grateful that no one is against us, that no one can harm our true nature. We are, you are, I am. And so it is.
So as a mental picture, how many of you have seen rain coming down when it's sunny out? Yes? I'm going to sing a tune you might be familiar with called Have You Ever Seen the Rain? And as I was listening to the message this morning, I was picturing that very scene, right? And no matter what may be going on outside of us, we have the capacity for the light within. Someone told long ago there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain sunny day. I know, shining down like water. Now you all know, have you ever seen the rain? Now you all know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Yesterday, days before, sun is cold, rain is hot. I know it's been that way for all my time. Till forever on it goes, through the circle, fast and slow. I know you can't stop in the wonder. Now you all know, have you ever seen the rain? Now you all know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. You all know, have you ever seen the rain? You all know, have you ever seen the rain? Come down on a sunny day.
Thank you. Such a beautiful song. Have you ever seen the rain? The writer must not have lived in Seattle. It's a beautiful day. It's nice and sunny. And my name is Joy Christensen. I'm your board host. You know, October, the root word octo means 8. That's where it got the name. And if you take a look at that number 8 and you put it sideways, you see the infinite symbol, infinity. And it goes along with our topic for the month, which was the eye of the storm, and as Reverend Larry had been talking about the infinite, infinity. Also, the symbolism of October is abundance and prosperity. In the Northern Hemisphere, we're into autumn, where the farmers are harvesting our wonderful abundance of awesome foods that will feed us, our mind, body, and soul. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's the spring, which is the growth, new abundance coming forth. Again, the theme of abundance and prosperity. And we are so blessed because here in Unity of Bellevue, as a New Thought Christian spiritual center, we are truly blessed with having the continued support of all of you online and in the sanctuary. Whether this is your first time coming in as a guest, we hope you return as friends. If you are coming back as returning friends, and for all of our current congregation, we thank you for your continued support of your abundance, of your talent, your time, and your tithing. And this is that time of our service in which we are in gratitude of your continued support. And after we say our affirmation, the ushers and the greeters will be bringing in the bags. If you are not comfortable with that, you can just still also give your gifts in the basket in the back. Also, we are online on our website. There are many ways in which, however you would like to be able to share your blessings with us, we are grateful and we thank you. And so, with knowing that God is our infinite source, and we know that we are truly blessed, right? And that was our community song, God is my source. No, don't worry, I'm not gonna sing. Let us together do our offering affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. Thank you.
And now we give thanks for the givers, for those who have given tithes and love offerings, for those who have given of their time and talents. We bless these gifts, multiplying them to do a great thing here among us and out in the world as we work and we play and we pray that all awaken, as we transform the world into one that works for everyone into the beloved community. We invoke the law of circulation, that as we give, so we receive, knowing we are so blessed. We are so grateful. And so it is. Amen. Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Monica McDowell Elvig. I'm your center administrator. Haven't we been blessed this morning? Yes. If you are visiting with us for the first time, we open our hearts to you. We know that you are here for a reason, and we intend that as you leave today, you know that reason, that you know exactly why you are here this morning. And that may be to be blessed, or it may be to be a blessing to someone else. And we invite you to, as you're exiting the sanctuary doors to the left, is a welcome packet that you can pick up on your way out. If you're online, you can go to our I'm New page on our website, unityofbellevue.org, and you can click on the button and I will send you a welcome packet. The best way to stay in touch with everything that happens at Unity of Bellevue in person and online is to sign up for our weekly e-newsletter that comes out every Thursday morning. The sign-up form for that is on the bottom of every page on our website. The prayer chaplains are always ready and willing to pray with you and for you. Susan Neidig is our prayer chaplain this morning. She will be leading a prayer circle after service in the library that is hybrid. The Zoom link is on our launch page on our website. If you have any prayer requests, you can fill out the prayer request cards in the seat backs, online, or by the south entrance. The Eye of the Storm launch workshop that was to be held this afternoon after service has been postponed till next Sunday. That is hybrid, so it will be offered online as well. So next Sunday, same time at 12 noon, Reverend Denese will be leading that workshop in the library. The book, the Eye of the Storm book, if you are in a small group, you need to get that book because that's the text. We have those for sale in the bookstore. You can also buy them online through our website shop page. And also, if you're in a small group, we have a free gift for you. So stop by the bookstore and pick up your free gift. There's also some study guides for those of you who are super introverted like me and want to do this all on your own. We've got some study guides that we're offering just with a love offering in the bookstore. It's not too late to sign up for a spirit group. They haven't started yet. They will. One of them will start today. But if you would like to sign up for a spirit group, there's signups online on our website, our newsletter. You can also talk to Susan Neidig about the possibilities. We've got in-person ones, hybrid ones, and an online-only spirit group, all different times and days. Women Connect meets this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. They'll be discussing the holiday fair, the arts and crafts fair that we'll be holding on Sunday, December 4th, and our little free pantry and stewardship ideas from garden tours. So join them here in the friendship room at 10:30. See Linda if you have any questions. Next Sunday, we are planning to take a hike. Brian Brewer will be leading this hike again, and it'll be local, moderate level. If you would like to join in that hike, just let me know, and I'll put you on the email hiking list. We've got a good group formed. We're also continuing our memorial tile fundraiser. We want those in by the end of the month if possible. So the forms are online, and they're also in the bookstore. Also, at the end of our time in the friendship room after service, after most people are done eating, we'll need some helping hands to clear the tables and chairs. We're having the carpet cleaned this week, so just pitch in there if you can. Also, I just want to say a big shout out to the Women Connect women, Kathy, Linda, and Lori Scott. Yesterday we had our first semi-annual community shredding event, and we raised, with a donation this morning, over $500. We also have a crate full of canned food and other food items for our little free pantry that people donated to us, so that was really an awesome experience. So just thank you so much for your sacred service. It was a great way to advertise who we are. A big thank you to Reverend Larry and to Reverend Denise for sending us. That was a great message. And to Dave Hannon, our first time. Thank you, Dave. Wasn't that awesome? And to Jamie and Becca as well. Always so awesome. Next week, Reverend Denise will continue the Eye of the Storm series with Enemy Mine, and Jean Mann will be our guest artist. Jamie and Becca are going to lead us off with the peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. Here we go.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, and family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a blessed week. Love to you all.
You got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power.
I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me.
Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what will be, and then watch it come to me. 'Cause I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me.
There are days when I feel that I'm just no good. Days when I don't even want to try. But when I stop, look and listen and surrender, I hear a voice of truth I cannot deny. And it says, you know you can do it. Just get down to it. Have faith in yourself and the will to see it through. 'Cause I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want.
I've got the power inside of me.
Yeah, I've got the power inside of me.